Welcome back to another episode of Generational Debates. I'm Christopher Davis, and this is
Izzy Dreadhead,
Izzy
aka
Dreadhead.
Simba,
Yes,
508
sir.
repping.
So, pretty much, I discovered your music from your brother, and you are very tough. I noticed that there, and also seeing like your content that you make with your brother on his channel. So, I
hmm
see a lot of like sports references, like in your bars. Like you speak on like how sports influences you musically, and like how that kind of you know dictates how you write.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, I agree with that. So I used to play basketball in high school, so like that's kind of where it all started. Um, and going into music after stop being an athlete, uh, I just kind of bring that part over because I still got love for the game, obviously, and I have love for music. So kind of just try to put both of those into one and kind of show myself really.
Gotcha. Yeah, because the Magic Johnson bar, I peeped. I was like, nah, that's kind of tough. So for me, especially, like I love music. I love music that's like bar heavy or has moments where like the bars are really hitting. So like, what is your
Yeah.
writing process like? Like, do you just typically punch in or freestyle, or do you just typically like write your stuff down? Or like, is it a mix of the two?
So I ain't even gonna lie. I kind of like recently tried to get into freestyling because I'm not like crazy good at it. But more of like a punch in. I'll write before I get to the studio and kind of just go in there and vibe. Maybe switch a couple things up as I'm going, but I kind of I like to have myself prepared before. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to really worry about taking up studio time and wasting people's time and stuff like that. So yeah.
Gotcha. So, what is the music scene up? Because you are an artist from Massachusetts, what's the music scene like up there? Up there, like in Mass, like how is it? Like, is it like oh, there's like it's very competitive, or it's like very low key, or how's it? How is it?
Right now I would say it's low key, but it's finna go up. There's a lot of other artists in the city that I feel like can make some noise if they play their cards right. But it's really who wants it the most. That's
Gotcha.
because it comes down to networking and connections at the end of the day, really, and who's
Mm,
hearing you. So um, I feel like Worcester got a lot of talent, but it's really up to everyone else, and it's kind of hard for people to support in the city because everyone wants to do it.
mm.
It's not like we're all coming together trying to do one big thing. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's in
Oh,
their
it's
own
just everybody
groups.
individually trying to pop off.
Yeah, so it's you kind of just go off of popularity in the
Mm,
city, and that's how it's been.
gotcha. So, what does the name Simba mean to you? Because again, like me, J Cole fan, I hear the grown Simba thing, so I'm like kind of used to like
Yeah,
that. So, what is like Simba for you? Like, what does that mean for
I mean, obviously the king of the jungle, but
you?
like other than that, my mom used to call me that when I was younger, and it kind of stuck with me as I grew up. Um, and that's just me. I don't really
Mm.
know how else to explain it. You feel me? I just king of the jungle type shit.
Yeah, I feel like for me, especially like hearing the music, is very much heavy on like boss talk, like I'm bossing myself up type shit. I
Yeah,
really I really enjoy that because I feel like, especially in this generation, so much of the shit is like it's like depressing, or it's like oh, like, I'm doing all, or I'm like popping drugs, or I'm like doing all these drugs, and I'm like,
right.
and it's like it's a nice turn. So for me,
hmm
what got you really into like recording, and like what was the process like of even making your first single? So like, or your first song that you really felt popped.
So my first song I ever recorded, honestly I wasn't gonna record it. I kind of like wrote it, and my friends were telling me to go record it. Because I wasn't comfortable with it yet. I had just stopped being an athlete, so I was really trying to like find myself, and I didn't know if music was the answer or not. I always loved music, but I just didn't know if that was for me. So once I wrote my first song, and I like showed it to my friends, they was like, "Yeah, you need to go record this and you need to get it up." And from there, I just keep going. Honestly, I don't, I
Yeah,
just tried to find myself through it. So I found myself through the music. That's what I feel like.
gotcha. Well, this is also a sports show, and because I've obviously seen your sports content, I wanted to ask you your opinion on the Celtics and the Patriots. Because again,
Okay,
as you see the team move, I unfortunately am a
I
fan
see
of
it.
back. Yeah, I'm always gonna rep them. I'm always gonna rep them. But like, as you see a team like the Eagles, and even with your team like recently winning a championship, and of course the Patriots dynasty, can you speak on the idea of like being from a place where it's like full of champions and like the idea of you yourself to like try to be an underdog, try to prove yourself as a champion. Like, speak to how the city and like the sports teams inspire you, like artist wise.
Um, that's a great question. I ain't gonna lie. Well, I mean, just growing up watching it since I was a kid and playing the
Mm,
sport, I kind of understand that dynamic. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
So it's like you want to be the top dog, you want to be the boss, but you got to start off somewhere. So being the underdog, trying to get there,
mm,
especially a lot of Boston teams, they are the underdog for the most part. I feel like, and until obviously, I mean, everyone hates on them. I feel like, I mean, when Brady was in New England, everyone hated us, but
I
we were
mean,
winning.
6 Super Bowls doesn't necessarily make you sound like an underdog, my guy.
Nah,
But
that's facts. But I mean, if you look at it, they still were saying we was the underdog. We wasn't supposed to do things, and we still
mm,
went and get it done. So you kind of just have to have that heart. I feel
mm,
like that's what the really it is in the city. So
gotcha. And for me, especially, like, because for me, creatively, like, I feel like one, I've been an underdog and I've just like been like starting to get all the opportunities like really pop off for me. But I
yeah,
feel like, and I wanted to speak to you about your show, your upcoming show, and just
hmm
like how you're mentally preparing yourself for that performance because this is a bigger stage, and like what is like can you speak the story of like even getting there and then also like how how you're preparing to even like have this moment.
yeah. So my very very first show was not too long ago. It was about a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Mm,
Nah, a week and a couple days. It was the 7th. So not the Friday just passed, the Friday before that. And I found out last minute it was a competition.
mm,
So I go in there and obviously I was a little nervous because my first one, but we just go in there and get the job done. It's not really nothing that I haven't done before. I was singing my own songs, so
mm,
you kind of just have to keep your mental right, stay calm. Even if you get nervous, you got to understand that it's natural. I
mm,
mean, athletes could say it. I mean, I know myself when I was playing. I mean, I used to be nervous before every game, but
mm.
as soon as jump ball would go off and they tip the ball, all of it's gone. You know what I'm saying? So,
Gotcha.
kind of had that same feeling when I got on the stage. As soon as I grabbed the mic, it was just I'm here now.
Yeah,
So I am preparing for this next one though, and it is a bigger stage. So obviously I'm a little nervous, but I know I'm ready for it, and I'm finna show them who it is.
gotcha. So I also wanted to ask, who are rappers who you were listening to that inspired your sound, and even if they didn't inspire your sound, inspired you like how you write and like how you kind of approach rap music.
So when I first started out, I have to give it to Lil Baby, Polo
Mm,
G, and NBA YoungBoy.
nice.
Um, those are probably my three favorite artists. I still love those artists, but at that time, those were my three favorite artists. So I know I kind of try to do like a Lil Baby, Polo G type of vibe, maybe a little bit of A Boogie in there too.
Mm,
Um, but then I just kind of just started to branch off into like my own sound. I feel like.
gotcha.
Yeah, so it's like, at the end of the day, you got to figure out what works for you. So like
Mhm.
I can do that stuff, but I feel like I just got to keep going what works for me.
Yeah, because I feel like the goal, like somebody said, like the best artists kind of like steal, but it's like it's not stealing. It's more so you take the best parts that you feel about like
Yeah.
each artist, and then you like try to like weave it in, try to get like for me um like my favorite journalists are like Taylor Rooks and Rob Markman and like Zane Lowe, and I like try to like
Okay.
have questions where I like have those sound like the dude who does hot ones. Like I try to like ask questions
Hmm.
and people are like, damn, that's a good question. Now of course you're not
Right.
eating wings that are like burning your fucking mouth. But it's like,
Type.
I definitely want to like, have questions that are like really in depth and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. What was my other question? I don't know. It was so how is it trying to like create as an artist, but then also like seeing like how much work you have to put into promotion on social media? Because I feel like that's like an underrated thing. Like even with me, like when it comes to like doing all this podcast stuff, it's like, oh, I got to put out this
Hmm.
clip, or oh, I got to do this, or oh, I got to do that.
Yeah.
It's like like trying to find time for all that. Plus, like you're trying to work and like trying to like make sure that like hey, people are tuning in. Like it's crazy.
Right.
So
It's
how is
it is
like
crazy.
that process?
So that process, I honestly have to get better at it. I feel like I need to promote myself more just to get more exposure and get more people to see me. Um, excuse me, but yeah, nah, I feel like if you stay consistent with that and people are seeing your face, seeing your name more and more, that's the more views you'll get, the more exposure this person will send to that person, and you know, I feel like obviously it takes more than just one song or one
Mm,
video, but you need that one to get to that next
yeah,
level. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you get to that level, then you figure out how to get to the next one. So you just really got to stay consistent and just work on your craft and keep pushing.
gotcha. And again, this is just a random fun question, but like, how long have you had your
Mhm.
dreads? How's that process been? And like, what's your lock journey been like, man? This is just fun little journalism question.
I've had my locks for I think it will be 12, it just past 12 years in December.
Mm.
Yeah, so the log journey's been fun. I don't plan on cutting them anytime soon. I've
Oh,
never trimmed them, never dyed my hair. This is all natural.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, I've dyed mine a couple times, and now it's like this cool brown color. But, like I've been
How long you been growing yours?
5 years.
Okay,
It'll be 6 in August. So
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah,
So
you
for
coming a
me,
long way.
yeah, no. Well, again, like my mom had locks. She told me like, "Hey, your hair's gonna grow mad fast, so you gonna be all right."
Yeah,
So like when people are like, "Oh, you gonna have that little ugly stage for a spot," it really wasn't like that. It was just like my hair just like sprouted all of a sudden. Everybody's like, "Oh, you got hair now," and I'm like, "Yeah."
it was easy for me because my ugly stage I was in elementary school basically, so
Okay.
it was like no. I started in my locks when I was in fifth grade.
Mhm.
And it was in the middle of basketball season too, so it was like it did not matter at all.
Yeah, for me, yeah, like it wasn't like an ugly stage. It just looked like I had like one of those like spiked froze, and then like all of a
Yeah.
sudden my locks just like started really doing that thing. And for me,
Hmm.
especially like I like the whole lock journey thing. I see like more people like cut it off, or there's like, oh, it was just a trend. I was just doing it for clout. I'm like,
Right.
man, y'all niggas lame. Like
It's
y'all
it's
can't
in my
really,
name. It's in
yeah,
my name. I ain't going nowhere with this.
not at all, not at all. And so to wrap up, and I wanted to ask basically, what were your favorite? And I like to do a top 8 section. I haven't been consistent with it, but I would say top 8, and this is like any songs from Lil Baby, Polo G, and Young Boy, and it doesn't have to be like from each artist, but like 8 songs like from each of those three. I'm trying to say like in total 8 songs, but 3 songs for. But basically, like you could do a 3-3-2 of like your favorite songs from each artist.
Yeah. I got a couple of them saved. I know You Knew by YoungBoy is definitely one of them. I had that on replay since it came out, and I still play it to this day. Um, there was a wow, which one from Lil Baby? There's one from Lil Baby. Hold on, let me look. I think it's called Go Hard.
Yeah,
It was when the snippet he was in the studio with James Harden.
yeah,
That song is another one that hits. That one obviously freestyle from Lil Baby is
of
just
course.
you can't go wrong with
That's a
that
whole
one.
national anthem. Like that's
Yeah. Um, Polo G, he had a couple. Let me think. Polo G. Um, hold on, let me put that one in real quick because I know the song, I just don't know the name of it.
you good, you good.
Um, Beautiful Pain
Okay.
was definitely one. D&D is another one. 21. There was one more that I'm specifically looking for though.
Through the Storm is my favorite poetry song ever. Like that
Which one?
through the storm. Like that's my
Oh
favorite
yeah,
song.
Through the Storm is definitely one of them for sure. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Nah. I believe that's it though. Yeah. Those
Yeah.
those ones definitely stuck with me, and they're on almost all my playlists. So yeah.
And to me, like the one thing I like about those specific artists is their use of melody to kind of convey like the pain and like the real shit that they're going through. Because I
Mhm.
feel like when you listen, because when everybody says like, oh, like if you listen to Youngboy, it's like, oh no, like it's like, oh, this music's trash. Like all these times about it's killing shit. And I'm like, nah, you really gotta listen. If you listen to Nevada, that song is like one of the greatest. I think that's one of the
You
best
feel
songs
me?
ever.
Like,
And I'm like, and I hear emotionally scarred, and I'm like, okay, this is one of the best songs I've ever heard.
yep.
So it's
He
like
definitely jumped on that one.
I feel like so many people misconstrue artists, especially like more melodic artists. Like to me, Future like because again, I consider him like one of like the forefathers of artists. I think there's not 10 people who can rap who like did rap better than Future, like to
Yeah,
ever
I
to
hear
ever.
you. I hear
I
you.
think that like Future again, people who listen to like, oh, he signs all this. And I'm like, if you listen to "We Still Don't Trust You," and then you listen to Hendrix, and there's like literal songs and albums, whole albums where he's like, yeah, I actually am in love and I hate it, but I actually like, these people make me happy. So I really think that like,
And I get it too.
yeah, no, like it's so
I
relatable. You be
understand it
like,
for real.
damn, like
Yeah.
everyone's like, that's why I really hate like even sometimes he portrays himself as like, oh, I'm toxic. I'm like, no, you just in love and you're either scored or you're pissed off, and that's how
No,
you
right.
react. However, like when you actually are like, yeah, like I would like what's that song we saw in Trust You? I think it's like All to Myself by the Weekend. Like that, I'd be like,
Yeah.
I'd be tearing up to that. I'm like, yo, that's damn near a wedding song. But you out here saying like, oh, I'm the toxic king. I'm like, Future, what are we doing?
Nah,
But
yeah.
yeah, so how would you say like Future kind of like encourages you and like influences you musically?
I mean, if, with the Simba name, I call myself Simba Hendrix, so he
Okay.
definitely has a
Oh,
big
damn. Right?
influence. Yeah,
Yeah.
he has a big
Future.
influence on it. I actually wanted to come out with an album on like a Future type of vibe thing and call
Yeah.
it Simba Hendrix, literally. So,
Nice.
um, his vibe is just it's different. You know what I'm saying? I feel
Mhm.
like him and Thug, they have
Yeah.
like this vibe that they give off that like you can't copy. I feel like Gunna
Yeah.
has that too. The only thing is that whole situation. I ain't finna get into none of that,
Yeah.
but
Let's not do that.
he's another one that has that. He has that type of influence where it's like you're not finding that nowhere else. So it's like you know
and I think
anyone anyone who tries to like emulate that sound or anything, you know where it's coming from. You know?
gotcha. I feel like with Future and Young Thug, it's like a reckless abandon. It's like they just
Yeah.
do like they know how to like try different stuff where it doesn't feel overdone and it just feels like
Mhm.
they're being themselves, but it doesn't seem like they're like trying to reinvent the wheel. Like Young Thug has so many different songs and different flows that you can go into, and you're just like, this is insane, but it's amazing. And then Future, it's like you have the typical like, oh, you either have like, oh, he's flexing or he's talking his shit, or like, oh, he's sad and melancholy, or oh, he's toxic, or oh, he's in love. And there's like so many like different versions of Future where it's like, you can. I really like how multiple he like that artist is. I think that like
Right.
so many artists are like stuck on like, oh, this is like the one thing I do really well, so I'm gonna just like keep doing it. I feel like Cardi's
Mhm.
doing that right now with the whole deep voice thing, where it's just like, bro, like the one thing we
Yeah.
like about you, the fact that you like did different stuff all the damn time. Like that was literally like the appeal of you as an artist. Because the bars, honestly, I'm not gonna look at for Cardi to be lyrical miracle, not at all. But I'm just like, hey, the like listening to Die Lit, it's like, oh, dude, like you can actually like have different flows in different pockets and you can kill it. So like
Mhm.
I don't know. How do you feel about the current state of like rap? Because I know some people are like the Drake and Kendrick beef kind of overshadowed like a bunch of like great projects that dropped. I feel,
Mhm.
but like, how do you feel about like the current state of rap
Honestly, I feel like it's in trouble.
music?
People just got to find their energy again. Like
Mm,
I don't know the old vibes. I feel like it's like that with everything though. I feel like with sports it's like that. Everything's going down. I feel
yeah.
like rap is going
Oh,
down. Like music
NFL
as
is
a
bad.
whole. I
I'm
feel like
sorry. The NBA. No,
oh my
I'm
goodness.
more of a football fan than a basketball fan. The NBA. The NFL. Like literally, the Eagles would like literally justify like, okay, parity is back.
Nah,
We don't have to
yeah.
worry about the Chiefs. We're good. But the NBA, I didn't even watch the All Star game yesterday. I heard how bad
Oh,
it
I
was.
didn't even. I'm like I used to be a hooper. Like I love the sport. I didn't
Yeah,
even tune in at all. I was like I don't even care for it. You
yeah,
know, I got a whole podcast with my brother talking about basketball. I did
yeah.
not watch none of it. So it's like I don't know. It's
Okay.
it's sad what's going on right now. I feel like they need to not only just get the energy back, but get that vibe. Like
Yeah.
after COVID, a lot of things just started going downhill and just never
Mm,
came back up. I feel like so it's just it's tough. It's sad to see, especially growing up watching everything.
yeah.
It's sick.
Because to
But I
me,
feel like
like,
some of the new artists, they feel like they need to show them who they is and really get the energy back, and maybe that will make a change for real.
I feel like for me, especially like as I view like all the different stuff, like in all mediums of art, when it comes to like film and movies and stuff, like seeing like all the delays it takes for like really good shows to like really pop off. Like there's only like 3 or 4 shows that consistently have like a, oh, like we're releasing a season each year. Like you got to wait 3, 4 4 years for the new season of a show, you already forgot what the hell happened. And then with
Right.
like music, like you have all these artists like taking 4 or 5 year breaks, and it's like your last album was good. You're not necessarily you're a newer artist. You don't necessarily have the time to be like, oh, I'll just wait to drop it, like building anticipation. So it's like
Hmm.
I don't know. I feel like one everybody after COVID is like still trying to find that normalcy, and that's the kind of thing where I'm just like, you got to really like. I really feel like more people got to push themselves, push. It just kind of like because again, like even though rap has like strayed from like being really lyrical, like at least still push yourself and like be willing to put out quality works of art, not just like oh
Right.
snippet here, snippet there, and then just to build anticipation, and then you just don't drop anything. Like
Yeah.
I
Nah.
don't like that like as an ecosystem in rap. But
Mm-mm.
yeah, so pretty much this is the end of the interview. I want you to plug all your stuff. You know, even your podcast, bro. I have them on all the time. So shout out to DJ, shout out to you, and
Word.
I
Shout out to
definitely
little
will
bro. Shout out
be
to little bro.
yeah, and I will be sending you clips and stuff because again, this was a great interview, and yeah, I
For sure.
really do want to yeah. So just plug all your stuff right here.
Yeah, so my Instagram is youngdreadhead23. My other Instagram is daylove_Simba. And my YouTube is Izzy Dreadhead. And then I do podcasts on the Harding Way with my little brother. So go subscribe to that one as well on YouTube.
And yeah, this has been another episode of Generational Debates. I'm Christopher Davis. I'm queuing
Izzy
it.
Dreadhead, aka Simba. You know the
Gotcha. Have
vibes.
a good one. Have a good one.
And you